everybody, and welcome to another Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is BryanCPSteele, and I will be your nerd today and any other day that you watch one of my silly little shows. Okay, so I know you read the thumbnail. You're going to be like, what? Happy holidays from the Professional Nerd. It is basically today's video. I'm going to go ahead and do the Week in Bryan, and that's pretty much going to be it, because we're getting into the holidays. And that means for me as a freelancer, wrapping up on a whole bunch of stuff. So my next couple of weeks are extremely busy, not only just with, general holiday parties and family and travel and the kids and pets and all the things. But also it means that I've got deadlines that I need to get done. And I am completely open and honest with you, my loving subscribers and viewers, and hopefully if your viewers are subscribers, because why wouldn't you click the little button? I give good information all the times. But in all honesty, it is because I am very, very, very busy during the next couple of weeks with family stuff and work stuff and all that and all that jazz. But I did want to at least check in and let you know that while this video is going to be very short and kind of a, hey, just going to take a quick break for the holidays, it's just to let you know that the channel's not going away. I promise I'm coming back. I'll be coming back stronger than ever in the new year. So because literally a week from now is Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, which I will be up to my eyeballs in travels and leftovers at that point. And then the following week is the actual beginning of the new year. I believe I'm filming on New Year's Day, and then you'll see the next video actually in 2026. So what I wanted to do today is basically let you guys know that, yeah, I'm going to be gone next week, and that this video is kind of short. But then we're going to kick it off strong in 2026, because my goal is to have the first episode of the new year is going to be looking forward toward what hopefully I want to do with this show, what I'm planning to do with just life in general, talk about some of the projects that are coming to fruition, things that we thought were already going to be done, but it's going to take a minute because life does life things. Basically, I just kind of want to say hello to the new year properly, and also kind of say goodbye to 2025. And not for the reasons why you think. But I did want to just take a quick second and let you guys know that, I am taking next week off for Christmas, so there will be no Christmas video. So please go deep into your YouTube banks and find some cool Christmas nerdy thing to watch, and think of me fondly. But the next video after this one will actually be in 2026. It will be right after the New Year's, and we'll talk about all the great stuff that is coming, hopefully, in 2026. But for today, let's go ahead and start the Week in Bryan. So on a personal note, the personal point of things, the holidays are always really big for me. I love Christmas, and not for any religious connotations. I have just a lot of very deep familial Christmas memories about waking up on Christmas morning and seeing all the things that Santa left for me, and particular moments of being with my grandparents and my uncle, people that are very near and dear to me. It was always a very family forward, very family strong, a very family forward event. And as we grew up and as we went off to college and got families of our own and whatnot, it has never stopped being that kind of feeling for me. But it is very hard to get back the same kind of feelings we used to get at my grandma and grandpa's house on, Christmas Eve, and waking up at our house on Christmas morning, and then going back over to Grandma and Grandpa's house. We lived right next door, to have a big Christmas morning breakfast. And so those are feelings that I wish I could have better imported into my own kids, that they could have experienced that as well. But the perfect storm just, it's not the same thing. But the holidays will always have a very special place in my heart because of all those memories and because of all the stuff that I went through. And I remember the first time that I got to play Santa. Connor's mom and I stayed up super late and put together all the toys and set up this giant thing in the playroom, and it not just got to play Santa in the way that we got stuff for the kiddo, but like he was probably 3, I'll say, when Christmas morning really was truly magical for him. And waking up and seeing these things. I remember doing the elf on the shelf, posing the special thing the kids get to look for the elf on the shelf, and what trouble he got into over the night. Every morning, it was. Those are the things that I hope that I put that kind of magic in the spirit of my kids, and that when they eventually have kids of their own, that I can hopefully see that through them. And see that kind of feeling continue on. It's a huge thing for me, and full disclosure, years and years and years ago, the very first year that Connor, the very first year that I was apart from Connor's mom after the divorce was very, very hard for me, because as you do often with divorced families, you often do holidays back and forth. Next year you get them for Christmas. It's just it's a pretty normal thing. And then that very first year, Connor was with his mom, which is again awesome. Connor's mom and I get along famously. Everything's wonderful. But it was a very, very hard year for me, because I was dealing with all kinds of guilt post-divorce and guilt about being am I now an absentee father? Obviously these are things that anxieties and stuff that hit everybody, but that particular year it hit me like a ton of bricks. And one of my fondest memories, not fondest. An important memory is several of my closest friends, playtesters now, but people who I've gamed with for years, people I've known for decades. They came to my apartment, and we sat around playing games, because whether or not they'll ever say this, I don't know, but I think it's because they were worried about me, and rightfully so. I was not in a great headspace. But it was one of the nicest things that anybody has done for me, or even if they didn't realize it, they went out of their way to make sure that I was in a happy place, or at least a happier place, during Christmas, because they knew that me not being there for that Christmas for Connor was devastating for me. It was an absolute, just like a soul crushing moment. And they came and they helped, and they did what it took as friends. They didn't sit down and make a big deal out of it. They didn't throw their arm around me and be like, "Hey, I know it's rough, buddy." No, they just were like, "Hey, we know you're alone, and let's get together and do stuff." I think we played Blood Bowl. It was just a good time, and it absolutely meant the world to me. And that's the kind of stuff that Christmas means for me. So I know I'm kind of spiraling and going into deep stories. This is a game channel, and you guys are like, well, I'm hearing about his, post-divorce Christmas depression. But it's part of the reason why I mentioned that I'm taking next week off is because I still like to do a lot of stuff for the holidays, and whether it's get together with friends and play games, do gifts and things with family, or I think Natalie and I this year, because neither of our kids are going to be off with their other parentals this year. I think Natalie and I are going to go to a Chinese buffet. Normally I like to cook these giant extravagant meals, but we did this a couple of years ago, and it's nice sometimes to just kind of not stress, and literally the present to yourself is to just be copacetic, just Hakuna Matata your way through the holiday. And I think that's what we're going to do next week. But especially with all the stuff that's been going on. So back to the personal week in Bryan. Today's basically a blog day, apparently. But back to the week in Bryan. So earlier this week, my furnace decided to stop, which in Indiana, on some of the coldest nights that we've had, is problematic. Now, it's not unsafe. We are Midwesterners. We are used to this. We know sometimes your pipes freeze, sometimes your furnace goes out, sometimes a blanket just ain't enough. So we had space heaters going, and everything's been taken care of. It's never easy, it's never cheap, it's never fun, and it's definitely never welcome, and it's always stressful. Combine that with, we had this last weekend, we were supposed to have our annual Friendsmas party, but that ended up getting postponed till this weekend because Indiana weather decided that, we're going to make sure that every road is impossible to drive on for about 36 hours. And that's exactly what happened, is that we had a bunch of people cancel, and just to be safe, we didn't want anybody, out of the sense of guilt or obligation, try and drive out to our house on roads that were, slick like glass and snowbanks that just basically swallowed cars. So we postponed it. This upcoming weekend is going to be the new Friendsmas. I know that it does mean that the attendance is probably going to be less because, people plan their stuff. This is the weekend before Christmas, so I'm sure people are going to have family and things. But it's something that Natalie and I really enjoy doing, and we are going to absolutely still throw the food into the thing, get the snacks out on the table, have our yearly gift exchange for randomness. It's going to be a good time, and I hope that whatever you guys are doing for your weekend, your pre-Christmas weekend, I hope you guys enjoy it too. Let's see, gaming wise, just playing a lot of Helldivers 2. Still love that game. And a little bit of Warzone, but also starting to get ready to do some pretty deep playtesting on a project that I will hopefully be able to talk to you about sometime in the spring. And so far I'm pretty jazzed about the direction that it's going. The client that I'm working with had some very interesting notes, things that I didn't recognize, things that I didn't see when I was putting the project together. But now that it's been pointed out, I think I've said this a million times before. Editors and developers and playtesters, they make your product better, and this was definitely a case in point. I liked the product that I handed over for review. I thought that it was really good and really tight, but the stuff that came back, the cleanup here, the polish there, it's even better now, and I think that's going to be great. I think it's gonna do good things. But that's where a lot of my playtime is being devoted to right now. is paying attention to getting playtest stuff ready. Hobby-wise, I have started painting. Yay! I've got a handful of my niece's D&D minis that I'd like to try and get done this weekend. With the party, it might not happen, but I think I may devote my Sunday this weekend as a painting day. I may throw on a movie. maybe throw some music on and just really dive in and do some painting this weekend. Because if I can get those done, I'd like to hand those off to them, because then I can literally just focus all of my painting on the charity piece for GaryCon, because GaryCon is in a short 3 months, and I'm going to run rapidly out of time again, and I know that's going to be the case, so I need to really get off my butt and get it taken care of and make it happen. That is one of my big goals for 2026, is to turn that into a priority and make it be go. The other hobby thing that I've been doing is I've been doing a little bit of prep work to replace a bunch of my demo figures for Warzone, because a lot of my demo figures are the old prints that we did before we got all the sizing right and everything else. And the wonderful people over at Trenchworks sent me my contribution copies. I don't know what you would call those, but basically I've got the snap trays of all of the Warzone stuff to help bring me up to actual snuff, because there's an issue with putting an old, I mean, it might be nicely painted, but when I put it on the table and someone goes, that model looks weird, and it's because the ratios are off, or the sizing is off, or the print slipped, or whatever the case may be, it does a disservice to the line and doesn't make people want to buy things. And that's why we do the demos that we do. So I am going to slowly start replacing my old, I mean, I look at that and go, man, that's a lot of hours of painting that is going to slowly go away. But it's necessary, and who knows, maybe I'll do better the second time around. Make a cleaner paint job. Work-wise, I have been very busy and will continue to be busy. My good friends over at Dungeon in a Box reached out to me and paid me some very, very nice compliments about, I did a lot of monster design for their Wild Trainer book, their like Monster Hunter style Pokemon D&D thing. I did a lot of monster design for them, and apparently they really liked it, because they have another project coming up, which I will tell you about when I can. And one of their designers reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I've got like 110, 120 monsters that need stat blocks, and we really love your stat block work. We love the life you bring to a creature through its rules." So they asked me if I could make the monsters for their thing, which I'm already partially dived in. It's a neat setting. It's very traditional D&D, but with like kind of a flavor spin on it. Like there's definitely a gimmick, there's a theme, and I think that as I get to go into some of the weirder monsters that they've designed, I'm going to get to really kind of flex that theme a great deal. And like I said, I'll tell you more about that when I can. Obviously, still doing a bunch of stuff for Warzone. That's a constant thing, and in fact, when this comes out, I probably shouldn't say that. We've got something very cool planned for the near future. I know we just dropped the second printing errata, basically the notes that say, hey, if you have the second printing of the rulebook, these are the things that changed. Or if you've got the first edition of the rulebook, these are the things that you may want to make a little note of, so that way you don't have to buy the book a second time. So we put that up on the Facebook and the Discord, and I believe it's up on Transatlantis's site now too. But very shortly there will be some more cool stuff going up. More on that in the future. I hope you guys will stay tuned to my socials, and I'll probably talk about it in the next episode that we do here in a couple weeks. Starting to do a little more development work with Xeogenesis again. Waiting to hear back from them to see how much developing I'm gonna be doing. So anytime that you're dealing with someone else's primary rule set, in this case Andy Chambers' Xeogenesis, you have to, you kind of have, I don't mean like you have to ask permission, but you kind of have to figure out where your artist agency sits. How much tweaking can I do? How much, obviously if something doesn't work, change it. But if it's not about something doesn't work, but something doesn't feel right, or maybe I'm just deciding that, hey, it'd be really cool if with this new faction, we decided to go off in this direction. I have to know how much of that I get to do and how much of that Andy would be comfortable with me doing before I sign any contracts and get all that stuff squared away. But in the very near future, I'm going to get a chance to do a little bit more developing with Xenogenesis, which is a fun game. It's a fun game about giant robots and aliens and stuff blasting each other on a relatively small board. You should totally check it out, or check out some of my past episodes where I talk about Xenogenesis, because there's new stuff coming in 2026 that will knock your socks off from this guy. Let's see, what else? What else can I talk about? Intergalactic Heroes is going strong. We just got all of the final edits on the initial rulebook done. Now it's just a matter of getting art made and getting that book ready for hopefully an extremely successful crowdfunding next year. I know things over at Evil Genius have been running a little slowly lately, but it's still, it's a process. We had a very massive death in the family earlier this year, and it caused some ripples. The world trade and tariff situation did us no favors on some of the things that we were getting created overseas. Just a collective, there's always problems, and sometimes problems all kind of stack onto each other. But from what I understand, we should hopefully be seeing some of those things ironed out and finished up very, very soon, allowing us to go into 2026 with some very cool things ready to rock and roll. One of those things, obviously, for me, is I'm desperate to get Intergalactic Heroes out for people to play beyond that beta doc that we made. I think that recently our editor, I'm not gonna name them because they might not want to be associated with the quote, but after doing the editing, who, by the way, is not an Evil Genius staff member, it was an outside freelance. It was a freelance editor that we brought into the project because it's that important. We wanted to make sure that there was no corporate bias. Does that mean project bias? I don't know. But they said something very, very nice about the project. They said that it was the science fiction game that they believe that everybody is waiting for, and it should do very well. So it means the world to me. That particular person's opinion means a lot to me anyway, just as a human being. But knowing that they think highly of the project that has been basically my last 2 years at Evil Genius, barring a handful of adventures and like supplementary stuff. I can't wait. I really can't wait for people. I mean, because I play with playtesters, and we have an ongoing game, kind of in the private, in the annals of the privacy feature that is Bryan Steele's gaming circles. But it is definitely an absolute labor of love, and it is. I don't want to be like, it's my magnum opus, because that's not right. That's like, I don't have one of those. I don't have a project that I would say this is the flag that I'm planting. But it is definitely one of the better things that I've created, and one of the cooler worlds that I've primarily built. And I can't wait for people to see it. Speaking of Evil Genius stuff, I'm just wrapping up on an adventure for them to have something in for Free RPG Day this year. So that'll be fun. Hopefully for players to enjoy themselves. Don't want to give away the plot on that, but it's the kind of adventure that starts with a bang and hopefully just stays kind of fast-paced and awesome. Still trying to wrap up the Shadowrun novel. Life, man. I don't have any real good excuses as to why this book is taking so long, uh, other than the fact that things have gotten in the way. Has nothing to do with Catalyst. Love them to death. Has nothing to do with the project. Love the book to death. It is just there's only so many hours in the day in order to pay all my bills. And I'm getting words down as fast as I can, and hopefully we'll be able to get that book off to the editors soon, because I think that's going to be a fun read for a lot of people. Yeah, is there anything else that I'm doing? I've got an adventure I got to work on for the Wardens of the East Marches, and then secret projects that I can't talk about. I think that's it. I know that you're like, that's it. You just spent 12 minutes talking about all the work stuff you do. I do a lot of work stuff. But it is, this is the nature of the freelancer. It's the nature of being a professional nerd. But it is, I love what I do. I love the life that I lead, and I love being able to take care of my family to the best of my ability. And all of these things allow for that. So I can't complain. Now, thankfully, when we are through the holiday season, and we are branching out into 2026, and I'll be able to start doing some of these other projects and getting things put to bed and ready to go. I think my stress levels will definitely drop. The holidays are always very stressful, even though I love them. They're always very stressful because it's go, 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 do, spend. Hey, where'd the money for that bill go? Ah! And it's the winter, which means things break. Cars, furnaces, people, whatever. But regardless to any and all of that, I think I'm in a good place. I feel... I know that I'm busy, I know that I'm swamped, and I look at my list of deadlines and go, God, I wish it would shrink. But I'm happy with all of the stuff that I'm doing. There's no single project that jumps out and that feels like a chore. That's my least favorite part of being a freelancer. Sometimes when you get a task, or you get a gig, or you get a contract that maybe you were excited about it for a completely different reason, or maybe it just pays really well, or it's with a company or for a person that is good to work with for a variety of reasons. All of these things can stack to stack up for a project that makes it okay. This is something that has to happen, and then you get into it, and like halfway through, you're like, oh, it's such a slog. I just want to get done. I don't have any of those right now. I mean, obviously, I do want to get done with things that are midway, but I don't think I have anything that's a slog. I think everything I'm doing, I'm enjoying, or I took on the project because it was something that I wanted to do, or something that I enjoyed, or it was a great opportunity to work with some very cool people. And I think that that's really all I can ask for is gigs that are, part of me wishes there were more time in the day for me to work. Not because I love to be always working, because believe me, I like having some time off too. But it's a great feeling to know I want to work on this. I want more time to be able to do this thing because this thing's going to be cool. I want more time to do this thing because I think people are going to love this thing. And I think that's where I'm at right now, is everything I've got going on are all things that are going to be cool for the people who grab it, for the audiences, for me personally to see people play. And that's my eternal conundrum right now, is I only have so many hours during the day in the studio, and I don't want to take away time from my family to work constantly in the studio. So I do try and leave around dinner time. But it is, it's how much and what do I get to use that time for? And I think that's the biggest hiccup in my thing right now is I always say that I don't have enough time, but it's not because I don't have enough time collectively, like, oh, I just can't get things done. It's I don't have enough time to be able to work on all the cool things that I want to be working Speaking of, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. So we do have, when this comes out, we have 2 Kickstarters going on, or I am part of 2 Kickstarters currently. The Elder Dragons dice from Sorensen dice. I can't remember. I think his name is Sorensen. I think it's Mike Sorensen. But either way, I will put the link in the description of the video. They are boutique fancy dice that look like they're metal dice that look like dragon scales. That each set of dice comes with a professionally written adventure that is based around the story of the dragon that the dice is an homage to. So it's very cool. I wrote one of the adventures for the I believe Cinderfang, the red or Ruby Fang, the red dragon dice. I wrote the adventure for that. And I think you should totally check it out. It's a short-running Kickstarter. It's only running for like a week. And they are boutique metal dice, so they're a little more expensive. But you do get an adventure to play along with it, and you should check it out. Please click over there just to maybe just throw them a buck so you can watch the thing and join in the comments. And then, of course, the current love of my life, the Thundercats role-playing game. Obviously, if you've been watching the last couple of episodes, I've been talking a lot about it. So the Kickstarter itself just got, literally like right before I started recording, just reached over 100,000. And I think we're at like 1,200 backers, which is awesome. Still waiting to hear what Dynamite is putting out for stretch goals. Hopefully that will get dropped soon, but super good news. What I may have mentioned it in my last video about the Kickstarter. They went ahead and took Tommy and ours advice, and now if you buy a physical book, you do get the PDF version for free along with it. Yay! This is huge. It's a huge win for gamers. It's a huge win for us as people part of the creative team. Because that's really kind of become an industry standard, is if you buy the physical book and there's a PDF available, we'll send you the PDF while you're waiting for the physical book. And that's really, I think, more than the, well, we want to make sure you have a digital copy for all of your iPads and digital silliness. I think it's more about, if the book is done and it's in PDF format, you have just bought the book. You're getting the book. It's going to come to you. Why shouldn't you go ahead and start getting familiar with the material, and maybe even start making characters with your friends and getting people started? And I think I think it's a big thing, and I'm glad that Dynamite finally said that they would do it. So if you were holding out on backing the Thundercats Kickstarter because you were like, I really needed a PDF to go along with my physical book, it is now automatically part of the thing. Please go check it out. Go back this amazing thing, because that has been a project near and dear to my heart for a long time, and I really want that Kickstarter to do very well, because it should hopefully open some doors to some new cool stuff with Dynamite in the future. Yeah. So I know that I said this was going to be a short video because I just wanted to kind of bring you guys up to speed and tell you how things are going. But I did give you a little holiday cheer from our house to yours, and that will continue. However, I will not see you guys again. Well, I mean, I might see you guys again, but like video-wise, you will not see another video from me until 2026. Oh no! But we will take a look at a very nerdy new year. On, I believe it'll be January 3rd. Is January 3rd or January 2nd when that next video will come out. And until then, please be safe. Get your shots. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Walk safely on the ice. Don't lick doorknobs. Just, don't be a Grinch. Try to make every room a little happier than when you got there, and I think everything's going to turn out fine. So from all of us at Tales from a Professional Nerd to you, have a very happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I don't know all the rest of them, but whatever you celebrate, or if you don't, I want you to have a good couple of weeks. I want you to shine in your own way. And just be safe. Have fun and play some games, because you know I will. Bye, guys.